It's been 7 months since I filmed anything, and I'm a little rusty. Don't exactly know where to start even. I usually, before I'd film videos in the past, I'd like maybe do like a little journal session, either full journal speak or just normal journaling, just to like what's going on, what do I want to talk about, what's on my mind. But like I let 7 months go by now, and there's been a lot. I've thought about making videos probably every day in that time, if not at least every other day. So why didn't I make a video for 7 months? And like it's relevant to what this channel is about, and like the main reason was my health. So the last videos that I made were all about like how I was healing and how I had healed like maybe 30-40% more than I was. Like I went from 10% to 50% to almost 70% at times. So that was, a big jump. I wasn't fully healed, and my main thing that was holding on was my fatigue. But so what happened? So last year when I started filming videos, not that long after, I got strep throat in May of 2025. And then December of 2025, I got it. So there was, quite a bit of time in between then. And I filmed some videos after May. I went to a retreat specific on mind body for chronic illness, like recovering from chronic illness. And to do that, I had to stop breastfeeding my second child, my son, who was like 15 months old. And I did not want to stop in some ways. Like I didn't feel like emotionally ready, but physically I was done. I was having a ton of issues still from like that I thought were because of breastfeeding and postpartum. And I had read a lot of science and heard a lot of testimony about stopping breastfeeding and how that could help with the fatigue, the weight gain, and mainly what I was dealing with that was bothering me was irritability, anger, rage, and like just constantly feeling overstimulated around my kids and like reactionary towards them, which was not how I wanted to be as a mom. So it was just like untenable, and I really wanted that to stop and change, which is kind of how I got really into Nicole Sachs and all of that mind body stuff in the first place, because that was my like breaking point of like something has to change. Because up till then I had been just living in like this like bad chronic fatigue place for like 10 years without really, for at least the 5 years before that, I had just given up on trying to find a healing modality. And I just been like, this is it, this is my life, this is what we're doing. And I think I can have kids and I'm gonna make it work, but it just wasn't good enough. So I kept searching. So okay, I go to that's in June, and I had to stop breastfeeding. And then I come back, and to be honest, things got much worse over the summer of 2025. I was more tired, more irritable, just like the fatigue was worse. It was bad, like all day, waking up with it, hardly able to get out of bed, dragging myself through the days, crashing every day. Like it was a lot. I will say that after a few months, things balanced back out. So it probably was just hormones from stopping nursing, just like kind of figured, I have a lot of hormonal stuff. It's been a major issue. All my chronic fatigue issues and all my irritable bowel stuff, everything, my first chronic stuff started when I started birth control, which I only took for like 2 months. It was like, oh my God, I'm going insane. I'm losing my mind and I'm unhealthy. And all these, I had a bowel obstruction when I was 20 from after a month on birth control. So I stopped taking hormonal birth control. And I only ever tried once again, like 5 years later when I was 25, which is when I had my it was a little after my major crash. But yeah, anyway, so hormonal birth control does not work for me. It's never been okay. And my symptoms are always the worst around during my luteal phase. So after, I know there's probably men watching this, but after you ovulate, you have like a week or two before you should have 2 weeks before you actually bleed and menstruate. And what that is your body's like, you didn't ovulate. Oh my, so, I mean, you ovulated and you didn't get pregnant. You didn't fertilize the egg. So we're going to drop your progesterone because you're not going to get pregnant. Anyway, it means you don't sleep as well. It means a lot of things that happen to women. And I happen to be just really sensitive to that fluctuation. And so those weeks took me a long time to pick up on that's what was going on, because I am very irregular within my cycle. I could have a 35-day cycle, a 40, a 60, a 23, they're all over. They're usually within like 30 to 35 days, 33, 37 days. So that's like 90% of the time what happens, which is a long cycle for women. It's usually 28 days. So But it doesn't matter if you're a little long as you're regularly that long. And I am regularly that long. Not exactly the same day, but within like a week of itself. So still irregular in my opinion. Where was I going? So, okay. I'm super sensitive to hormones. I stopped nursing. Things get really bad. It takes a few months. They get a little better. And then we're getting into fall. My kids are sick nonstop. I'm still kind of sick. I'm just not ready to pick the camera up again. And then holidays are hitting. December 2nd, I get strep throat. Like, it took me a few days to catch it because it had been 10 years since I'd had it. It's bad. Like, all my tonsils covered in like white spots. Like, it was really bad. I got really sick. I went and got antibiotics. I'm vomiting in the room while they're trying to take the swab and like peeing in my pants. It was terrible. I was really bad. Take the antibiotics, which is a nightmare for someone with irritable bowel to take antibiotics because it just wipes you out, and it takes a lot for me to rebuild myself. And I had just rebuilt myself from the antibiotics I took back in May. And I think that's part of the reason I was so sick and tired all summer. So here I am, take them again, get strep throat immediately after I stop the antibiotics. So I have to take them again at the end of December. Get strep throat immediately again after I take those antibiotics, and they gave me a double dose. So now I've taken 3 rounds, and now I'm on my 4th round. And then I get sick again, but it tests negative, so it's not strep. But I'm effed. Like, this was in January, and now we're in March, so it's only been like a month and a half. And I'm doing what I can. I'm definitely feeling the effects of the strep, but I've thought about picking up this camera every day, and I want to do it. And the first reason was my health, but the second reason is I really do love filming these videos, but I kind of am like nervous about filming. I mean, I don't have enough viewers or enough put into this to care that like, oh, I'm just nervous. It's going to be like, oh, you said you were healing and you're using this way, and now you're going to get surgery maybe to get your tonsils out. Like, I can't take any extra like stimulation or conflict in my life. So just the idea of like dealing with that just felt like too much. That was a little bit of it, but the main reason is I just don't exactly know what I want my channel to be about. And I feel like I've done these videos about chronic illness. And so now if I come back and do videos about motherhood or anything else, it's just gonna be a bad idea. Like, I should start a whole new channel and just do this about my health journal, health history, and my health journey. And yeah, I don't know. I just feel I have felt crippled. I felt frozen by fear. And I've tried to journal my way through it, and I've been like, oh, I'm gonna pick it up soon. Like, when I feel good, I'll pick up the camera again. Well, the reality is I'm not feeling good almost ever. The only reason I'm able to literally do this right now is because I have someone watching my kids, and I went into the sauna, and that's like one thing that like kind of like reinvigorates me, like hot and cold. If I take a really hot shower and a cold shower, so I did sauna and cold, and I just feel like a little bit alive again, enough that I can like look at camera and focus. Yeah, and but that's what's really has slowed me down, is, and I don't want to feel like pigeonholed into only talking about chronic illness, because I'm just, that's not all there is to me. There's so much more. And I don't exactly know what I want to do on YouTube. But I think the only way I'm going to get there is by filming these videos and putting them up and seeing what I kind of trend towards talking about. There's no way for me to detach my life from the chronic illness, and I hate that in a way, because anything I would talk about, it's all shadowed or affected or directed by this chronic illness. So the way I'm a mother, the way I've chosen, I mean, the things we do in life are, we work, we have family, we have our house, everything I do is under this, it's under this realm of chronic illness. And part of me, I want to bring that in and talk about it, but I guess I feel like it maybe won't interest people that are really sick. Like, they don't really care about like maybe what I have to talk about. The main thing that came for me when I got sick was just that you have to survive. You need money to survive, and my ability to make money just like got crippled. So I lived in scarcity, and a lot of the way that I do still live maybe is a little bit more in the scarcity realm. So I liked minimalism and living with less and simple life and all that stuff. And I don't want it to just come from a place of scarcity though. You know, I want it to be something that like is good. I don't know exactly. I don't have my words. I didn't plan this. So I'm just going off the cuff here, and it's not coming out exactly how I want it. But yeah, basically like videos about like how do you actually manage a life once you do have chronic illness? And for me, it's not, I don't stay living this way just because I have chronic illness. I think even if I had all my health and energy back, I couldn't go back to how I lived before, because I know different things now. And I actually really like not just, I think my chronic illness in a lot of ways came from social, like just over trying to be something that I wasn't, like not living authentically, not living truthfully, striving for more, striving to fit in with society. And it really just broke my spirit and my body. And I learned, out of necessity, I learned this other way of living, but I stay with this other way of living because I think it is the right way of living and I think it's superior. And I do think there's a lot of people out there who are probably in that hustle, rat race, pressure to be a certain way and discontent with their life because they're not there and they don't even know that there's another way. And that's how, that other way is what really has allowed me to live it all. Because when I was living with only 10 to 50 to now 70% of my energy, I still, you know, you do have to accept that you just can't have everything, I guess. And it's a hard thing to accept, but yeah, finding out what actually matters and cutting out all the clutter in your life, like whether it literally is stuff, people, work, whatever it is, the things that are cluttering your life and making you unhappy and taking your energy away when you have so little. Again, if you only have, I don't even know if I talked about it in this video, but I know I was just talking to someone about it, so it's on my mind. But like, I know a lot of chronically ill people call themselves spoonies. I never really understood that, what that meant, but I know it's like, oh, let's say a normal person has 10 spoons a day, and spoons are energy, so you can give 10 spoons a day towards whatever you have to do. And like, let's say I have 4 spoons a day to give, or some days even 3. And that means, you know, I have to be really intentional about what I'm giving my energy to, because I only have 3 spoons to give. And with kids, that gets magnified. Your spoons become so much more precious. So yeah, I don't even know what I would call this video. Life update, checking in. Anyway, so my health is still not where I want it to be, and that's really tough. I kind of slipped, when I slip off, I will say this, when I slip off from journal speak, my health gets worse. So the reason that I did get strep so many times, I believe, is because I was so overstressed. I had way too much going on. I had a huge event in our family going on that I just let really rock my world, and just, it's still stressing me out, but it's better now. And yeah, I just felt like journal speak wasn't available to me at that time. Like, it was just like, oh, I'm too exhausted, and I'm putting the kids to bed and I'm falling asleep in their bed, and I'm rolling over to my bed. How am I going to go spend 20 minutes journal speaking? But now that but whenever I did do it, like, I remember it being so bad, like just being like in such a bad spot and sitting down and really dumping a journal speak. And the next day I was like, it's all gone. Like, that's what I had to do? Really? So while I don't think journal speak is a magic bullet, and I wish there was one, but I haven't found a magic bullet yet to cure all this crap. I'm looking. I'll tell you if I find it. But I think our reality is there isn't one. It's lots of little intentional habit changes, and just, I call my channel Radical Madre, because to me, living radically and I live a lot different than most people. I spend my money a lot different. I earn my money a lot different. My housing situations, I just do things that I had to learn out of necessity, again, because of my chronic illness. And I'd love to talk more about those things in particular, like minimalism and whatnot, but and also just finances in general, because it is such I don't know anybody who's dealing with chronic illness who would not be completely affected financially. Like, for me, that's actually been one of the main things that it just is a reality, because if you can't earn as much and you can't work as much, if you can't work as much, you can't earn as much. And if you can't earn as much as you need to live, sometimes you really got to get crafty. You really got to figure some things out. So, yeah, I am on a list to get my tonsils out. I don't know that I'll do it. I don't want a situation like I had a few months ago happen, where I get strep throat like multiple times. I'm down as a mom. My kid got it. I had to give them antibiotics, which was not great. anyway, yeah, so I am on that list. But in general, you know, life is good. I still am functional. I can get up, I can drive, I can take care of my kids. I will say I'm crashing a lot more. Like my kids have, one of my kids has stopped napping, which means from like sometimes 5 a.m. till 10 o'clock at night, I have no break and I'm with my kids the whole time. And on days like that, I'll be honest, I don't think most people could do 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. That's like a what? 12, that's a 17-hour shift. Like that's a lot, but I know for me for sure I can't do a full day with my kids anymore without crashing. And that's just like every day. If I get up with my son, he wakes up at like sometimes 5 a.m. and then my daughter doesn't nap and my husband's not home from work till 5 or 6, and then my daughter doesn't go back to sleep till like 10 some nights. That's an extreme, but let's say my son is, if he sleeps in, is up at 7 and my daughter can go to bed as early as 8 p.m., then that's an 11-hour, that's a 13-hour day. That's a little more reasonable. And my husband helps once he's home in the evening if he is home, but I mean, he's going to be out of town for 2 weeks coming up here, and I can do that. Like, I'm not completely crippled. I know there were times in my life where I was stuck in bed and I wouldn't have been able to do that, but I've got myself to this point where I can do that and I can have kids, and that was really important to me. But there's probably some people out there who maybe they don't want kids, but there's other things that are important to you. And I think living with less and learning how to be happy with those things and finding meaning and purpose in other things, it's just the answer. It's all the way out of a lot of this stress and pain that can come from chronic illness. Yeah, I don't exactly have those videos in the docket yet, but I don't even know if I would talk about them, to be honest, but that's just something that's on my mind right now that I've thought about making videos about. But yeah, I don't feel like I don't know if I don't feel like an expert, but I feel like there are so many experts already talking about those things, but not in the guise of like chronic illness. So anyway, I'm really rambling. This video is way longer. I didn't even say anything important, but I just talked to you guys, which honestly, those are my favorite YouTube videos. Like, not only just chronic illness, but just life in general now is pretty lonely, and it's hard to connect with people. And I love my YouTubers. Like, I have like maybe 10 or 15, almost all of them are like homeschool Christian moms, which I'm maybe none of those things. I might be some of those things. We'll find out. I don't even know yet. But I just enjoy them. Like, I get to like see their little world, see their family. A lot of them talk about minimalism and financial minimalism. And yeah, I feel so grateful every time they post something, and that I get to kind of like know this person a little bit. I don't think I'd ever feel comfortable. I don't know yet, but I definitely like wouldn't want my kids' faces on camera. And I don't mind filming things, but I don't really know how to edit, and I don't really have the time or the energy. So that's why I just do these simple videos. But I would love to have videos that like showed my house and like showed decluttering videos and showed just the, whatever, just the reality of living. And we're a little more personal, but that's what I've got for now. So I'm gonna try. I don't want to make any promises, but I'm gonna try to like do this more often. I'm hoping maybe like it's okay that this video had no meaning really, and was just me talking and was just a check-in. Maybe out of like the few hundred subscribers I got, maybe one of them was like, I wonder what happened to that chick. I'd love to just hear anything. And even if there's like 5 people who are interested in that, that's probably good enough for me. So anyway, hopefully I'll film. I'd like to do at least once a week, put something out there, and I'll get better at it, and I'll come up with more subjects that are meaningful, and maybe start a dialogue with some of my subscribers or people watching, if they comment what they want to know, and based off if they've watched my last videos or just watched this video, what they think. So yep, that's all that I got. Talk to you later. Bye.